Hi everybody, my name is Francisco,
And I'm Yasmin.
and today we will talk about the urban Amazon. To start the challenge of climate change in this context, we will start in the year 2015. In that year, the United Nations approved the 2030 Agenda and its Sustainable Development Goals, the so-called SDGs.
And in the same year, we also had the Paris Agreement settled at the Conference of the Parties, the COP, under UNFCCC. This shows how sustainable development and international climate policy officially began to walk hand in hand.
We are going to focus on the We are going to focus on one of these goals, the SDG 11. It aims to make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable.
Brazil, of course, took on targets within this goal. It's about improving transportation systems, ensuring safe housing, reducing the impact of environmental disasters, and crucially, implementing policies for climate change mitigation and adaptation in cities.
And that's where the Amazon comes in. How can we talk about sustainable cities without looking at the world's largest tropical forest and the people who live in its urban spaces?
The starting point is a fact that surprises many people. According to the Brazilian Institute of Geography and Statistics, in 2022, about 72% of the population of the legal Amazon already lived in urban areas, and 86% of the region cities have more than 50,000 inhabitants.
And the reality of these cities is complex. The 2022 census revealed that the Amazonian capitals are among the most favela-ridden in Brazil. In Belém, 57.2% of the population lives in favelas. In Manaus, it's 55.8%. That's more than half of the population. And this lack of urban planning creates a very serious environmental problem: heat islands.
According to other studies, these heat islands can reach temperatures up to 10 degrees Celsius warmer than forest areas. And this, in the Amazon, a naturally hot and humid place, makes life in the peripheries unbearable. It's the purest form of environmental injustice.
And the training is getting worse. Meteorological data from Belém show that in the last 50 years, the maximum temperature has already risen by almost 2 degrees Celsius. This is far beyond the Paris Agreement's goal of limiting global warming to 1.5 degrees. The climate crisis has already arrived, and in the Amazonian cities, it burns.
And the problem isn't just local, of course. Cities are key places in the global climate puzzle. The IPCC in 2022 pointed out that urban buildings are responsible for 21% of global emissions.
In developing countries like Brazil, the challenge is twofold: adapt what exists and build the new in a sustainable way. And, unfortunately, we are not going well. The 2022 Global Status Report for Buildings and Construction was clear. Emissions from the sector reached an all-time high. The sector is not on track for decarbonization by the year 2050.
And the climate crisis creates a vicious cycle. Extreme events force people to leave their homes and become the so-called climate refugees or migrants, who have to move precisely to the cities, which increase the pressure for housing and infrastructure.
That's why it's so urgent to talk about adaptation and resilience actions in Amazonian cities. We need urban development that is, at the same time, democratic and prepared for the future that has already begun. So, what can be done? The answer lies in resilience and adaptation policies. We need to think about cities that are prepared for nature's extremes: scorching heat, storms, floods.
And this involves several fronts. First, decent housing for everyone, including climate migrants and refugees. Second, developing low-carbon construction techniques that can actually adapt to the local climate. And third, a just energy transition in the Amazon.
And what does just transition means in this context? It means creating jobs that don't depend on carbon-based economies, and, above all, ensuring the human rights of peripheral communities, especially urban favelas, which are the most vulnerable.
Although isolated, examples already exist. Beco do Nonato, a neighborhood in Manaus, located in Cachoeirinha, was the first favela on stilts or palafitas to receive a sewage collection network, a fundamental step for both the health of the community and the ecosystem resilience. Analysis indicate improvements in the water quality.
On the international stage, momentum is being enhanced. The Beauties Breakthrough, a platform that involves 28 countries, including developing nations within the BRICS economic bloc, such as China, Egypt, and Ethiopia, aims to normalize near zero emission and resilient buildings by the year 2030. The Charlotte Declaration further emphasizes this collaborative spirit, with signatory ministers highlighting that accelerated climate change will increasingly expose buildings to climate related risks, particularly in developing countries and cities.
And this is the way forward radical collaboration to change the system. Countries' climate plans, the NDCs, need to include clear, specific targets for Amazonian cities. We have to unlock private financing and accelerate concrete mitigation plans. It's time to move beyond complex language and hard to reach consensus. As scientist Thelma Cruz, chair of COP30 Scientific Committee, said, this must be the implementation call.
COP30 Belém will be a litmus test to see if the world is truly ready to listen to what the urban Amazon has to say.
And we thank you for listening.